Hi everybody, it's Miss Betty, the Crazy Science Lady. I have our our experiment and project that we're going to be doing today. And this one is actually very similar to the chromatography that we did with water-soluble markers. This time, we're going to make it into something like a tie-dye that you can wear or that you can take with you. Just up to you. I would recommend what you really need for this is something that's cotton. Make sure it's at least 50% cotton and clean. It can be an older shirt. It can be, I have had students who've gotten some of those plain canvas hats from Walmart or from the craft store and used them, or the little bags, the tote bags. It's just up to you. But I would recommend you get at least 50% cotton. You need a plain, just a cup. You need a rubber band, an eyedropper or a straw, like we've used with the other stuff. And this right here you may need your parents' help with, but this is alcohol, rubbing alcohol. It's called isopropyl alcohol. You should be able to buy this at any drugstore or Walmart. You're not going to need very much. And then else you need are some Sharpie markers. And I have pulled out some darker colors. Just depends on what colors you want to use as to how, whatever you get on this. So what I'm going to do is to take my empty cup and I'm going to put it under my shirt. And I want my design to be in the corner. And I'm going to take my cup and put under my shirt like that and put my rubber band. Now what I'm going to do, now if you want to go ahead and put your design on here before you do this, this is fine. Just put a piece of paper or something because it will bleed through. Or probably a paper towel. But I'm going to do the dots again. And it doesn't matter if you want to do squares, that's okay. And I once did these with one of my classes at the high school, and it ended up that the principal at that time had me make the whole family a set of them. I had us make the whole family set. So I'm going to take some green. And I mean, if you want to put lighter colors, that's fine. But the only problem is the lighter colors just won't look as pretty because what's happening is you're working with pigment here, and the pigment is going to be spread out with alcohol. So I've got about 3 colors. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to take my eyedropper. This one is actually called a pipette, really. But, and I'm going to get some of the rubbing alcohol. And you don't have to put it in a cup, but I am. And I'm just going to drop some of the alcohol on the colors. If you watch, do a little bit more. It starts spreading out. And having the cup underneath it keeps the alcohol from getting on anything. It will go back down into that cup. And it just kind of gives you a neat little pattern. Like I said, it's kind of like tie-dye, but this is actually chromatography. And this is permanent. It will not wash out. And this is alcohol-based. That's why we had to use alcohol. We cannot use just water with this. I mean, if you want to use water, you want to use regular markers on here, you go wash it, they will wash out. So anyway, this will stay. This is going down into the tubes of the cotton, since cotton is plant-based fabric. And it's going to move out and it separates. And if you look, you can start seeing some of the pinks and stuff coming out in the black. And it really just depends on your marker that you use as to what colors you get. And as it dries, it may change a little bit more. So let it dry when you get it to where you want it. And then if you want to change this around and put it on another part of your shirt, you can. And you can have these little patterns all over your shirt. And it will continue, you'll have your own little homemade tie-dye. Just let it dry. I would recommend that you like put it in the dryer after it's dried, just to set your color, not just for a few seconds. You don't have to. It will probably be okay without that. But anyway, so now you have learned kind of like a tie-dye chromatography that you can wear. Have a good day, everybody. Hi everybody, it's Miss Betty, the Crazy Science Lady, today to show you an activity that we can do together. It's called a density cup, or a density experiment. So you're going to need some type of effervescent tablet. I'm using an Alka-Seltzer, a cup, about halfway up with some water, mineral oil, and food coloring. I'm going to use blue food coloring. Put just a little bit in here because we want to see stir it up. We want to see our bubbles, and we want to see the differences, because what's going to happen is, believe it or not, even though we think that the mineral oil is heavier than water, it's actually going to float on the water. So I'm going to show you a really neat thing. I'm going to pour, and you want to kind of pour this slowly. And we're going to see what's going to happen. It's really cool. And if you look, it floats on top, which means it's less dense, or it doesn't have as much stuff in it as water does. Now, to make this even more fun, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this effervescent tablet in here, and we're going to see what happens. It's almost, I always call it like the poor man's lava lamp. So what's happening is the effervescent tablet is at the bottom, and it is dissolving in the water, and it sends up the bubbles, which of course they're going to go up because they're less dense, but they go up into the oil, and they create your bubbles, which are going to go up and down. So it's really kind of neat, and that's how density works. That's how in the ocean, how if there's an oil spill, that's how the oil floats on top of the water. It does not sink right away. Because believe it or not, it is less dense than water. Water is a heavy substance. Yesterday I was watching something about submarines, and submarines actually carry tubes that they can take in water so they can dive. So that makes them more dense, because if not, they pop out of the water. So it kind of gives you a neat idea. And like I said, it will work for a while, and then you can just pour it off if you want to put it in a jar and keep it. What will happen is it's just a density tube, kind of like the wave bottle we made, and you'll just be able to see the two sections, and you can keep it. If not, you can pour it in the sink with lots of water and continue to, but after a while it will stop bubbling, because the carbonation, which is kind of like with your Cokes, will go away. Anyway, have a great day from Science Lady.